Hello, I'm Jay Rishikesh. Today in this tutorial of Thunkable, we are going to create a podcast streaming app in Thunkable. So let's get started. Before we enter the video, make sure to click on the red color subscribe button and the bell icon. So let's get it started. So click on the create new project button. So now you need to name your project as. So now for my project, I will name it as podcast app. So by not enabling this option, so let's click this create. So this is our project building screen. So let us drag this first screen is going to be our logo displaying screen. So let's drag and drop one image component here. Image component. Yeah, okay. So here I'm going to upload one image here. So you can upload your mobile apps, your apps logo. So I'll upload my apps logo here. So you can create your own logos with Canva. So I created this logo with Canva. So let's create new screen here. So this is our first screen. So if you want, you can name your app here, but for me I don't want that. So let's go to the screen 2. So here this is going to be account creating screen. See, actually we are going to have one Google Sheet database where it will have all the users list, which means active user list. So if the users deleting the app means, I mean the logging out the app means, automatically the username from the database will be removed. So so all the data of the user will be stored temporarily in the user's mobile itself, so with the help of the permanent variable. So let's create one row here. So in this row, what we're going to do is we're going to create drag and drop one label here. So showing that this is going to be creating account screen. So create account, create account. So let's font size to be 25 pixels. So then it should be black in color. So then the font weight should be bold, and the rows horizontal alignment is going to be in the left side. Okay. So let's set this height to be fit content. So then we are going to drag and drop one column here. So this column is going to be next to this row. So for that, for now I'll keep here. So let's drag and drop this row to be first place. Okay. Okay. So in this column, so better we can drag and drop this row to be inside this column one. Okay. So inside this column one. So now we are going to drag and drop one again another one column here. Okay. So let's drag and drop one column next to this row. So let's set this row to be before this column 2. Okay. So in this column, what we're going to do is we're going to add one row here. Okay. Let's add one row. Within this column, we're going to add this row. So in this row, what we are going to display is the username like this. We are going to display one label here. So let's add one label within this row 2. So let's set this text to be username like that. Okay. That's all. So the font size is going to be 18 itself, but the font weight is going to be bold. Okay. So let's set this row 2's horizontal alignment is going to be left. Okay. So let's set this row's height to be fit content. So let's set the text input to be next to this row 2. So let's set this row 2 before this text input. So, okay, that's all for this. So let's give the hint as some example. Okay. So like example John, like that. Example John. So now we are going to set this I think this column 2 is there within the column 1. Yeah, right. So let's set this column 2's height to be fit content. Okay. So let's duplicate this column 2 itself. Okay. Column 2 itself we're going to duplicate here. So because it will reduce our time for creating this. So let's set this use instead of this username, let's set it as email address. Okay, email address. So then so in this input 2 we are going to give the hint as example. So let's set this I think this is extending the line, so let's set the number of line to be 1, I think, so it will reduce this increase. So better for now we will take this example. Okay, so now let's set this text inputs width to be fill fill container. So let's set this same to be the example, so I mean the email also. So let's set the to be pick one, like let's set it as fill container. Okay, so okay, now we're going to give some space between these two. So for that what we're going to do is so before that we need to add one button next to this row, colon 3 I think. Yeah, let's add one button here. Okay, so let's just set this button to be create or submit, how you wish. Those for me I will name it as proceed. Okay, so let's set this button's width to be absolute size. So let me set it as 200 pixels. Sorry, this is height, unfortunately. So let's set this width to be absolute size 200 pixels. Okay, so now let's give some space between these all because it's not looking good, right? So let's give some, let's set this main column ones, column ones, let's set this, so call vertical alignment to be space around or space between. So I think this is increasing so many space. So better what we're going to do is manually we're going to give some space between all. Okay, so for that what we're going to do is let's set this column 1, let's click go to this column 1, column I think it's column 2. Yeah, so let's give some, let's set the margins, margin from top going to be 20 pixels. So also for the column 2 what we're going to do, column 3 what we're going to do is margin from top 10 pixels or 15 pixels. Okay, so then for this button what we're going to do is margin from top it is going to be 25 pixels. Okay, I think that's all for creating account screen. So let's proceed with another screen. So before let's live test this screen out. Let's check how it is. I think it is in the older version itself. So let's refresh this screen. So guys, I forgot to tell another one thing. So in the main column is there, right? This is column 1. So you set this width to be relative size, and you need to set that to be 90 percentage, so that there will be some gaps, which means 5 percentage from left side and 5 percentage from right side. So this will look good. Okay, so next what you're going to do is you're going to create next screen. So this is going to be our home screen. Okay, so let's rename the title to be home screen. So in the screen only we are going to display all of the podcast here. So better we can rename this home as podcast, right? So it will be good, podcast, podcast. Okay, so here we are going to list all of the podcast from our application. So now let's set this background to be some black color. So you can set your own RGB colors, so you can select by this or you can set your own RGB. So let me set this. So you can set whatever color you want, but for me I like this color, so I set this one. So now what I'm going to do next is, let's drag and drop one data viewer. So in this data viewer we are going to display all of the podcast here, so which means just the thumbnail of this podcast and the title. So you can set your own grid item layout. So for me this is good itself, I think. So what I'm going to do next is, I'm going to add one button next to this data view grid. So let's set this text to be empty, and let's set this background color to be nothing. So let's set this picture to be, we're going to add one add icon, like plus icon here. So by clicking this plus icon, user can create their own podcast here, which means they can upload their own podcast. So let me set this background pictures to be that add icon. Okay, so you can set whatever you can create your own icon, or you can download it from Google. So I downloaded it from Google, you can also do that. So let me set the radius to be, we can let us increase the radius to be 30. So then let's change the height and width of this button. Height to be absolute size 50 pixels. So then width to be same, like absolute size 50 pixels. 50, yeah, right. So I think this is good. So next what we're going to do next is, uh, let's drag and drop one row here, row. So before this, actually we need to add this before the data viewer. Okay, so here we are going to do is, we are going to add another one button here. So here what we are going to do is, we are going to add one three line like symbol, which means in the we are going to add one drawer navigator, like one, that's one component. So like normally in mobile applications, there will be in top left corner there will be three line like structure, like a symbol. You can click that, you can navigate to other screens like that. We're going to create, we're going to add that one in our application. So you can download that logo in your from your Google. So let's set this buttons text to be empty, and let's set this background to be nothing. So let's set this background picture to be that icon that I downloaded from Google. So okay, that is easy to download, you do it by yourself. So let me open that image. I think the image is added here. Yeah, here now it is visible, right? So set this background colors button background color of this button as the same RGB colors of that your screen. Okay, because my icon is transparent, like that is 32, 29, and 29. Okay, yeah, now it's good, right? So now what we're going to do next is, we're going to add one label here. So in this label we're going to display our app's name. So let me set as podcast app. So you can set your app's name. So you can also customize the UI as you like, where you don't need to follow the same way that I do. You can customize your UI. So let me set this labels font weight to be bold. Okay, and this font size to be 25. I think this is very big. 20, yeah, this is good. So let's set this to be at the left side of this screen, horizontal alignment left side, and also set this rows height to be fit content. Okay, this rows height to be in the fit content. Also this rows width to be absolute, so relative size, and 90 percentage. Okay, this is good. Also for the, you need to do the, you can do the same thing for the data view grid also. Width to be 90, relative size 90 pixels, I mean 90 percentage, 90 percentage, and that's all, I think so. So now let's give some space between this logo and this app's name. So let's click this label of this text, and let's set the margin to be, margin from left to be something like 5 pixels or 10. I think 5 is good. Let's set a 7, I think. Yeah, now it is good, right? So this is the overall designing part of the podcast screen. So let's dive into the next screen. So which is going to be our create. I mean, so I think actually let's complete this. Okay, so we have completed this podcast screen. So next, what we are going to do is let's. So this is going to be account setting screen. Okay, about the user's account. User's account. We're going to display the details according to the user's account. So first, so this background also going to be in the same. So what we're going to do next is you're going to display all of the users detail, and if the user want, they can change their name or email address something. So actually they cannot change their email address, only the name alone I'm saying. Okay, so let's display it here. So first of all, what we're going to do is we are going to add one column here. So in this within this column we are going to add one row. Okay, so here what is this row means, we are going to display one label here. So this label is going to be username, your name, like that we are going to display here, your name. So that's all for this label. So let's set this font size to be 20 pixel and set this color to be white color. Okay, also this font's weight is going to be 500, or let's set as bold. I think this will be good. Okay, so actually initially I told that user can change the name, right? So I think we don't need to add that feature. Why? Because it will actually normally in social media mobile, social media platforms, that is not much easy to change your name of the platform. Say okay, edit before. Okay, so here we are going to display the user's name. So for now I'm just giving as user's name, but while coding this app we will change it. Okay, let's set this 20 pixels and color to be in white color. Also this font weight also going to be bold. Okay, so now what we're going to do next is this is the first row. Okay, so we're going to do let's set this row 5's height is going to be fit content. So let's duplicate the same row here again, so which is going to be email address. Okay, so email hyphen, so we are going to display the user's email address here. So for now I'll give as users data like that. So while encoding we will change it. Okay, also another one thing I forgot to tell is we are going to set all of this. This is a standard element, which means this the user cannot change this one, but I mean this will not change for any of the users, but this will change, right? This both of the labels. So let's set this rows horizontal alignment is going to be left. Also for this also at left. So now what we're going to do is we're going to set this main column. The column 4's width is going to be relative size and 90 percentage. Okay, now it will be good, I think so. So now what we're going to do next is actually we need to give some space between both of the data, right? So for that we're going to set this row 6, which means this email address rows margin from top is going to be 10 pixels. Okay, also in the first label itself what we're going to display is your data, like that we're going to account settings or something we're going to display. So I think at the top we will display it. So here I'm going to set as account details and color to be in white color, and the font style is going to be sorry, font weight is going to be bold. And that's all, I think so. Also, I want this to be better. We'll keep inside itself. This will be good. So let's make this first rows, uh, which means the username's rows margin from top is going to be 10 pixels or 25 pixels. So let me set as 35. Also, I initially I told that user can change their user's name, right? So let's do that. Let's do the next code. So let's add one button here, actually not here, next to this email row. So let's let me edit it. So not here also. So let's before this one. Okay. So now this button, through this button user can change their name of them. So let me say change button, change name, change name, like that. So also width is going to be absolute size 200 pixels, or else we can set this relative size, which is going to be in the percentage, which is 80, I think. Yeah, this is good. So buttons, so this button's height is, I mean the margin from top is going to be mostly 35 pixels. Okay. So now by clicking this button, user can change their name, change name. So next button is going to be logout button. I mean by clicking the button, user can log out of their account. So initially in the initial stage of this video, I told you that we are not going to store any of the data, any of the users data in the database, right? So actually we are going to store the database data of the user in the database, but most of, if like we're going to store it in the users database, but only the streaming, which means the podcast that is published by the user is going to be stored in the database. But other than the user's detail is going to be within the uh, within the user's device itself. We are going to store it with a permanent variable here. Why? Because we are not going to create like that much advanced, or we don't need that much advanced platform here. So better we are going to store all of the data within the mobiles users mobile itself in the local storage. So if the user is going to delete or log out this account means, so again they cannot recreate or re-log into this account itself. So if they want, they need to create again they need to create a new account with the same name or email address, like that. So if you want, you can try with that like a traditional, like a advanced way. So if you want, tell me in the comment, so I will create one advanced video like that, like creating an authentication, like a professional authentication with Thunkable. Okay. So for now, let's store all of the users data within the local storage itself. So if the user is going to delete the account means, the all of the data which has been created by the user in the mobile will be deleted. Okay. So let's create one button for this deleting the account. So guys, let's set this buttons text to be delete account. Okay. So let's set it as delete account. Delete account. Okay. So now the width of this button is going to be 80 percentage. Relative size 80 percentage. Okay. The same as the change name button. So let's set this background color to be nothing. Well, let's set as the same RGB color that we set for the background of the screen. So that is 32 and 29, 29 and again 29 for the blue and red. Okay. So now delete account text color is going to be in the red color. Okay. So let's say text color is going to be in the red color, which is light red. Okay. So now what we're going to do is I think we gave some gap between the change name and this, I think. Oh yeah, we gave. So between the change name button and delete account button, we are going to give some space. So for that, we're going to give some margin from top of this delete account, which is almost going to be 25 pixels. Okay, I think this is good. So now what we're going to do next is, we have completed this account detail screen. So we have done this home screen, which in which user is going to display, you can see the all the podcast and their account details, and that's all for the front end, I mean the users part. So next what we need to do is, the once when the users click this add button, this create new podcast button, we are going to do program, I mean, we are going to design screen for that screen. So now we are going to set the background to be, backgrounds are is going to be 32 pixels. I mean, backgrounds are in 32, and 29 is green, and 29 is blue, and A is going to be 100. So which means a standard for all of our screens in our application. So now this is going to be creating new podcast screen. I think there will be some screens. Yeah, no. Okay. So here, okay, okay. So in this screen 3, what you're going to do is we're going to create some elements to create a new podcast. So first of all, in the screen 3, they are going to uh, upload the podcast they spoke, which means they need to record or edit. They can record their podcast whatever they are speaking in the recorder, a mobile application or something, and they can edit it somewhere, and they can finally they can create it like a file, and they can store in their mobile. So then they need to come to our application, then they need to upload that file in our application. So now let's set this, let's create one button here, or yeah, before that we need to create one image here. So also this image is going to show that upload one, um, upload the podcast, upload your podcast like that. So let's set this image icon, image pictures to be upload symbol. So let me download it from Google. So you can create your own, or you can download it from Google. Okay, let me upload that picture that I downloaded. Okay, so in the, we're going to add one label next to this image, so showing that please upload your podcast like that. Upload your podcast. So this here is going to be in the capital, right? So now we're going to set this color of this text is going to be light gray. Okay, it's displaying that upload your podcast. So let's set margin from top of this label. So it is going to be 35 pixels or 25. It is good, I think so. So once if the user is clicking this button, they can add their podcast from their file explorer. So now next we are going to create next screen. This is screen 4. So once they have uploaded, once if they uploaded their podcast means, then they need to fill the details of their podcast. So now in the screen 4, what you're going to do is set the background to be the standard, that is 32R and 29G and 29P. Actually this is just a background color, you can set your own color. So now what we're going to do next is first the title of this podcast. So I think we can give all the title and the description of this podcast in this same screen itself. We don't need to create another one screen for the description alone. So what we're going to do is we're going to set one, we're going to add one column here. So in this column first we are going to add one row here. So in this row what we're going to do is we're going to add one label here within this label. So I mean within this row we are going to create one label. Okay, so in this table we're going to add one text like a podcast detail like that. Okay, now the font size is going to be 25 pixels and the color of the text is going to be white color. Also the rows horizontal alignment is going to be left. Also this main column, that is the column first that I added for the screen, width is going to be relative size, that is 90 percentage. Okay, and a row of this label is going to be height is going to be fit content. Okay, so now what we're going to do next is we're going to add the first row, next row next to this row 7. Actually the row 7 is going to be for this row 8. Okay, so in this row what we're going to do is we're going to add another one label here. So in this label we're going to set that, yeah, we're going, in this label we're going to display that your title. So then font size is going to be 20 pixels and the font color is going to be white color. So and also the font weight is going to be bold. Also for the same for the podcast details also, it is going to be bold. I mean bold. Weight, font weight is going to be bold. Okay, so now this row is going to be fit content, height is going to be fit content. So now we are going to set this row's horizontal alignment is going to be left side, and we are going to add one text input here next to this. Actually before that we need to do another one thing, that is we will better create one column here. So within that column we are going to we will create these rows, I mean this title and next details. So let me create one column before this row 8. So within that column, that is column 6, we will keep this row 8. Okay, so, and let's set this column 6 height is going to be fit content. And within this column we are going to create another one, we are going to create one text input here. Also this text input is going to be before this row. Okay, so now what we're going to do is, so let's set this width of this text input is going to be fill parent. Okay, pick one that is fill container. Okay, so now let's set this background color of this color of this text input is going to be white color, and the hint is going to be podcast. So a better hint is going to be, let's leave some space here. Okay, I think if you leave space means the text input is not visible, so let's give some space. Okay, let's keep the int of this text input is going to be podcast. Podcast title, like that. Okay, so now what we're going to do, so let's set the p to be capital. So now what we're going to do next is uh, we're going to duplicate this column 6. Okay, so in the second column we created here, right? So that column is column before, after this column 6, column 7. So okay, this column 7's this label is going to be description. Description, like that. Okay, so here the user is going to enter the description. Enter. So we will display the hint as enter here. So we can give the hint for this first input also, enter here, like that. Okay, so now what we're going to do next is we are going to leave some space between each of this. So first this row 6, I think that is the title row. So we're going to give some from the margin, we're going to give one margin margin from top, we are going to give some 35 pixel space. And for this row 7, for the description row, we are going to give some margin from top, we are going to give 25 pixel space. And we're going to add one button next to this column 7. Actually, I'm going to keep here. So after this column 7 only it should be there, right? Okay, so this buttons text is going to be published like that. Okay, so publish is going to be the this buttons text, and this buttons width is going to be absolute size, which is 80 percentage. Also this buttons margin from top is going to be 35 pixels. Okay, so this is the overall designing part of this screen 4. Okay, I think once let's test this. Actually, this is our website's preview, right? So that's why that's the gap is so many. So if you test with your mobile means it will become correctly. Okay, so now what we're going to do next is, so we have successfully completed this one and this designing part. So next what we're going to do is, so for showing that has been successfully published, we're going to create another one screen, which is screen 5. So let's set the background to be the same. That is R is 32 and green is 29. Again B is 29 and A is 100. Okay, and B is 29. Okay, so now what we're going to do next is we are going to add an image here. So in this image we are going to add one GIF file, so which displays the this podcast has been successfully published, like that we are going to display that successfully uploaded. Also this GIF's background is white in color, so let me change the background also to be the white color. Okay, so we are going to set this GIF's height is going to be, so let's set, before that let's set the width is going to be relative size, which is 90 percentage, and also height is going to be relative size 90 percentage. So be, I think instead of that let's set it as nothing. I think this is good. So let's test it. Let's reload it so that it will come, I think. So let's set the height is going to be fit content. So let's set the live test. Yeah, now it is coming, right? I think if you test with the mobile it will come. So okay, that's all for this screen 5. So now I think that's all for the overall it is. Yeah, we forgot another one thing. So in the account screen we have created this button, right? Change screen, change name. So if the user is clicking the change name means user can change their name. So we are going to create another screen, that is screen 6. So here user can change their name. So let me set the background to be R is going to be 32 and G is going to be 29 and B is going to be 29 also. Okay, now user can change their name here. So let me create one column here. So let me create one row. So in this row we are going to display one label here. So let's drag and drop one label. So within this row, so in this row we want to display that this is a change your name. Change your name, like that we are going to display one. Also that size, font size is going to be 20, and font weight is going to be bold, and text color is going to be white or this dark gray. So let's drag and drop one text input here. Also this height of this uh, row is going to be fit content, and also horizontal alignment is going to be left, and also this main column that we created, that is column 8's width is going to be relative size, that is 90 percentage. Okay, so now here we are going to drag and drop one text input here next to this row 10. So so after this row 10, this text input should be coming. So here we are going to, so better we'll keep the text color to be white. Okay, why? Because using in CETC, right? Actually, why it's not coming, I don't know. Yeah, now it's coming, it's white. So now width of this text input is going to be 100%, which is, let's set as pick one, that is fill container. Okay, so now this color of this text input is going to be white color. So now let's create one button here next to this text input. So this button is going to be confirm, like that, or change, or whatever you can. Let's set a save. Yeah, this is the correct word, I think. So let's set width is going to be uh, relative size, that is 80 percentage, I think. Yeah, this is relative size. Now let's set as 80 percentage. Yeah. So now if you just set this text inputs margin from top is going to be 35 pixel, or you can set as 25 pixel, and this buttons from margin from top is going to be 35 pixel. Okay, or even you can set it as 40, I think. Why? Because there's no any other element. Also, I think that's all, this is enough, I think. So now what you want to do next is, we have successfully done with this also. I think that's all for the overall designing part. So we have successfully completed the designing part of our application. So next part is setting up our database, and we are going to proceed with the programming, which means the block section.